Hey Strategic Angling fans, welcome back. This is episode number 13 of Strategic Angling presented by K&K True Value in Bettendorf, Iowa. My name is Brady Hanna and I'm joined by
Patton.
And we are here to talk to you today about what we do to organize our tackle. We got a few different products to talk about, but first off we wanted to cover why organization is important on the water. I know you've probably been told your whole life to clean up your stuff and be organized, and I didn't conform to that, and I think my boat is maybe the most organized thing in my life. I don't know about you, but
I think my wife and my nurses would probably agree.
Yeah, my room's a mess. My house is not usually a mess, but anything other than my boat is just a mess. And the only reason I keep it clean is because time on the water is so valuable, and having to look for something you need or not being able to find something you know you have in your boat, it can derail your day if you feel like that's what's going on and you can't find it. So.
Yeah, not to mention if it's raining, you don't want to be opening up every single box and getting everything all wet. You need to know which compartment and which box your stuff's in, get it, and get out, you know, especially in the rain. And like you said, it's just time, and it gets frustrating if you're looking for scuppernong colored jelly worm for 15 minutes and you know if you know right where it's at, you go grab it and you're good, you know.
So being organized is only one part of this tackle game. The other part is taking care of your stuff and your investments. So I had an old crappy nitro before the one I got now, and I had really cheap little boxes and I had let sit over winter, and I had apparently not gotten all the moisture out of them, and I ruined multiple trays of tackle due to corrosion and my boxes not being airtight at the time, or not being able to dry that moisture out without ruining my tackle. So I went ahead and I invested in some nice tackle trays, and I'll let JJ talk about those. The Plano.
Yeah, I think this is the guide series, and it seals real tight. It also has a little rubber grommet or
liner.
It's a seal, so that's really when you push down, that the top tray fits into that seal and compresses that rubber. So it's really tight fit, and it doesn't let water in. It doesn't let water out either, so if you do get it wet, you need to open it up when you get home and let it dry out. But the nice thing about these is this one's a 423, so you can leave all the little individual tabs out and have 4 really long trays if you had Alabama rigs or things like that are long, swim baits. You can customize it however you want. However, you can put 2, 3, 4, 5.
23.
So you could have 23 total compartments, or you can have any number between 4 and 23. You can leave them bigger if you have some deep diving crankbaits or jerk baits or spooks. You can do them smaller if you're doing terminal tackle or jig heads type stuff. So real versatile. This is a standard 3700 size.
They make a deep.
Yeah, they make a deeper one that's taller, and then they make 3600s that fit into more the smaller co-angler type bags, and you can also use them in your boat.
One thing to add on those is just like everything in bass fishing, stuff's getting way more expensive, and this is actually still in the lower end of price. I think you can get these for anywhere between $10 and $12 depending on where you buy them. One thing I do to these that is a little bit lazy, but it saves me time, is I rip off the 2 side latches, and I'm sure that I lose a little waterproof there, but these hold so good with just the one. I like to just have one access point, so I've been ripping them off for the last 2 years, and so far so good. Saves me time. This is one thing I do. I use all these. I'll flash a picture of the boat before we left for Guntersville. It's nice and organized, just full of these tackle boxes. So.
And if you take these off, they'll fit in better too.
They do.
So these things always catch on the sides. And
yeah,
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I just rip them off. Now, if you want to get a little more premium in the 3700 size, Plano does make a premium offering. We don't have one. I particularly don't care for them that much. It's the Plano Edge box, but the one other premium option, I believe Matt has a little bit of this. It's called Bass Mafia, and this one's like the Guggen edition. I don't know why I ended up with this one, but it was clear. Most of the Bass Mafia products are black or red and you can't see into them, but Guggen got them to make like a clear hard plastic one so you can kind of see within it. And I just use this one for
Can you lock that
for
one
square
too?
bells. Yeah, it's got 2 little deals there, and it opens up nicely, and I got it just loaded to the gills with square bells. It's a little taller than the the Plano 3700s, but these are like 40 to 50 to 60. Megabass makes premium stuff, but you pay for it. So that's a little bit on the trays we're using. Some other things to consider is like spinnerbait and buzzbait storage. This is a Flambeau product. It's like the big mouth box. I don't know which one you use, but it's just a square plastic box with organizers in here. I don't think much of this box, but again, it's like a $9 thing. I mean, I probably need to make a better investment in my spinnerbait and buzzbait stuff.
They do make special trays for these 3700s where you can put spinnerbaits in. Then they fit better. The problem I have with something like that is it just doesn't mesh with everything else that's in there. But they are nice because they stand up. The water goes to the bottom and doesn't sit on your hooks.
The problem I have with the style you mentioned is you have to bend a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to bend your wire a little bit to fit them in there, and I don't want to do anything that might cause, not perfect action on one of these. So
yeah. The other thing we didn't say, we talked about 3600s. I also like having a few of these in my boat. Terminal tackle. Like I'll have a finesse one of these that just has some drop shot hooks and weights and some small lead heads and some underspins and things like that. Just kind of tucked away somewhere near the back of my boat, usually, maybe even in the toolbox compartment, just so that I have those things if I find a situation where I'm going to need them. Sometimes I've been using smaller ones like this, put a selection of stuff to flip with, and some Carolina weights, things like that. That way, if I am a co-angler, I can put it in my boat and have it sitting on top of the other ones, and then when I go with the co-angler, I just stuff it in the side pocket of one of those, and it's mobile. You have to be pretty comfortable with what you've got if you're going to do that, because you can't carry a lot of stuff in these. You just have to have a few staples that you're going to resort to in an emergency.
Yep. There's a ton of people making bins and whatever, or 3700s, but these are just the ones that we like and we know you can get down at K&K, and I really love these little guide series guys. I think they're impossible to find a better value at $10 for one of these. With how much customization and storage you can get, these I would stamp super approved. I don't know if I love the spinnerbait deal or that, but
you can also, you can make these a little more waterproof too if you want. You can buy those little waterproof tabs that they sell. Plano sells them. The other thing you can do is go to your local pharmacy and ask them for the silica gel packs. They have thousands of those every day that they'll give you, and you can just put a couple of silica gel packs in every year, and they'll kind of absorb a little bit of that excess moisture. But like Brady said, if you got a box full of crankbaits like that, the last thing you want to do is lose $100 in hooks just because something got wet and rusted it all out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few $100 of Lucky Craft stuff in here I don't need, but to ruin that whole thing would be really, really costly and trying to cheap out on your storage solution. Yeah. So it burned me once and I won't do it again. I'll say that.
I think while we're on that subject, and I know you're kind of big with the label maker, but it's a good idea if you put a label on here, and when you slide your boxes in, you got 6 or 8 boxes in a row, and one of them says deep cranks, square bills, jerk baits, traps, spooks, and you can, then when you look in there, hey, there's my spook box, you grab it out, you get your spook, you put it back in, and again, it just saves you time rather than picking it up and looking through and seeing what's in that one.
Yep. And if you have a label maker, you are able to make funny names on your boxes.
Yes. Like
this one is called Finesse the Bag, and it's my stuff. It's my finesse stuff, and it just gets worse from there. So that was the PG one I had. Moving on to soft plastic storage, I found a product last year, and I don't know if it was new last year. It might have been with KVD's Plano deal. Mm-hmm. They call it the KVD Speed Bag, and I know there's been bags that hold plastics out there till the end of time, but these again are inexpensive. They're like $9, $11. I don't know. I'll flash the price of what these are. I know I bothered Matt into ordering some, so I'm hoping these are in by the time this airs. But this is the small bag. They say it holds 20, and I would agree. I think you can get at least 20 in there. But what I do for my boat, and everybody's different, is I will put all of my one somethings into one bag. Like, for example, all my tubes. I can throw all the tubes I probably need for that day into one of these, and then based on what I think we're going to fish that day, I'll go move these bags into the the spots that I'm easily that are easily accessible to me.
Yeah.
Jeez. So these are the smaller bags. And one other cool feature they have with these is that you can like fold them over. I've never done it, but there's a way to fold them like this so that you can, like, if they're sitting in there, you can easily get to them. I don't know if I folded that right, but it's supposed to fold like that so you can just snatch bags, and when you're done, flip them back up, zip it up. So I've got it. I mean, I've got a ton of these. I think it's so simple to plug and play what you're going to use that day with your soft plastics. And then they do make a bigger bag. It's like 40 deep, and I think these are still good. And if you've got a ton, like big, I throw my big 10-inch worms in these. Something that requires a bigger bag, or I'll throw like all my Senkos in the boat in one of these. But I prefer the smaller size because it fits that standard size of plastic a little nicer, and I usually don't need 40 bags of one thing. But yeah, so these are the two that I've been using, and it's really helped me stay organized.
And Brady kind of turned me onto those last year. I bought a few packs of those. Those are real nice. I would touch on the fact that if you're fishing as a co-angler, or if you're trying to reduce weight or space, I do have, and I don't have any with me, I don't think, is they call them the folders or the wallets, which are basically soft-sided like this, and it'll hold 10 or 12 Ziploc bags in there. And what I'll do in that is, if I'm gonna go in Brady's boat, is I'll maybe have 2 or 3 bags. I might have a dirty water one and a clean water one. So one of them might have green pumpkin, and I might put some speed craws and some beavers and some swimming craws and those, and just take a few out of their original packaging and put them in there. And then I have a small, it's probably 8 by 10 soft-sided bag with green pumpkin, and I use a green one for that. And then I have a black and blue one that I'll use for black and blue, black and red. And if it's a little more inconvenient because you're taking them out of your original packaging. It's hard to keep track of inventory sometimes in those. Like, you might go through all of your swimming craws in one of them and not realize it, and the next time you go out, you're like, geez, where's all my green pumpkin swimming craws? Well, you used them all and you forgot to replace them. But that's the drawback of those. The nice thing is, you can, a lot of times, like, if I have a co-angler bag, I'll clip it onto the side with a carabiner, and then it just hangs there. And so I got my soft plastics right on the edge of the bag. And it's a good way, bank fishermen, kayak fishermen, co-anglers, or guys that don't have a 21-foot boat that they can, stock endlessly with lures. Because we do, you have a lot of room in these boats, but you don't always need everything, and you only need a handful of each, usually. Yeah,
I brought a serious amount of tackle last week, or whenever we went down to our Guntersville Championship, but I was organized, and that's organization allowed me to do that.
If you can find it, it's okay.
Yeah,
that's.
Yep. You got anything else you want to add on this topic? I know we were short and sweet, but these are really the things that we're using, and I think they're really good.
I mean, I think the key is, the other thing is, if you're a boat owner and you're try to keep most of the heavy stuff to the back of the boat, in the back compartment if you can. Put your lighter stuff up front. That allows your boat to perform a little bit better, get a little better bow lift. So big bags of soft plastics, don't stick them way up in the bow, as far back as you can in the compartments. But be organized, be efficient, and that's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, I'm hoping we can roll a promo if these bags made it in. Matt's had them on order for months. Plano's been way behind, so hopefully I'm rolling a promo after this. But check out these two products. They're both very good, and we'll see you next Friday.
See you guys.